What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I have a quick video about Emoni Bates, and I wanted to talk about Emoni Bates because I was recently looking at a 2023 NBA mock draft, and I had known that Emoni Bates' draft stock had fallen. I knew that he was no longer a consensus #1 type guy, and there was some rumblings about him maybe falling out of the lottery type projection, but I was not aware that his stock had fallen so much. I know it's one mock draft, but this mock draft had him selected with the 29th pick, which is crazy. I thought I had almost missed his name, or they had forgot about him when I was scrolling through it. And so I just thought that was pretty crazy. And so I wanted to talk about what went wrong for Emoni Bates. And this is going to be even just pre-Memphis. I want to talk about kind of the downward trajectory of Emoni heading into his college career. And so I wanted to talk about that. More importantly, I wanted to hear what you guys have to say about it. So make sure you leave your thoughts on Emoni down in the comment section below. And with that being said, let's get into the video. And so, like I said in the intro, Emoni Bates being a potential 29th pick, which means that he's a borderline first round type guy now at this point in his career, is crazy, considering the fact that this guy was once considered the next LeBron James, Kevin Durant, next just great generational type prospect, which is where I want to start with my first point in kind of the downfall of Emoni Bates. I think that this all starts back to when he was 12 years old and first kind of got on the scene, or the YouTube scene, or the basketball scene. At that time, he was a 6'5", skinny, really well coordinated for that size and age, decently athletic, but just super skillful. I don't know if there's ever been a 12-year-old with that combination of size and skill and shooting ability, coordination, all that. It was just really impressive at that time of being 12 years old. And that's where he first got that label as the next generational type guy. And so from a young age then, he was projected to be this guy, and people are assuming obviously that he would continue to grow and his game would continue to grow, and he would be blessed with these just generational other physical characteristics that come with that, with being a generational type player. Is that not only is he going to have this skill set, but he's going to be an elite level athlete, which I'll touch on later. But that projection from just a young age put a huge target on his back, huge expectations, and maybe just from that start it was never fair for Emoni to get that label, because maybe he was never that type of prospect to begin with. I think another area that Emoni Bates was really hurt in terms of his development was his AAU and high school experience. In both AAU and high school basketball, his dad essentially created a team for him. I mean, they went and created a prep school for Emoni named after the Bates family. And then his AAU career, he played for Bates Fundamentals for the majority of it. I know towards the end of his senior year, he joined Jalen Duren and his team, but for the most part he played for Bates Fundamentals and that prep school that his dad created. And I think this just really hurt his development. Everything was focused on Emoni and making sure that Emoni got his. It didn't matter really about the team. It didn't matter if the team was competitive. I mean, they were losing a lot of those prep school games by a lot of points. They weren't competitive in a ton of games, but all that seemed to really matter for that team was, did Emoni Bates score 30 points? It didn't matter if he took 30 shots to get those. Did he get his 30? Was Emoni the emphasis of the offense? And I think it really hurt him by not, if he was going to go that prep school route, it hurt him by not playing with other elite players or learning to do that. I think if he would have went to a Montverde or an IMG, I think his game would have become much more well-rounded. He would have became more what I think the NBA is looking for in terms of someone who can affect the game at all 3 or 4 levels with scoring, rebounding, playmaking, and defense. He really only focused on scoring the ball. That was the big thing for Emoni Bates. And he never, like I said, developed those other parts of his game, which I think really hurt him. And I think if he plays for a traditional AAU program on the EYBL and not one for his dad, or if he plays for a different prep school, like I said, such as a Montverde or IMG, I think his game becomes much more well-rounded, and I think he develops more as that kind of point forward, or just someone, like I said, who offers a little more versatility on offense than just someone who can just score the ball. And my last kind of point, and it goes back to almost when he was 12 years old and talking about physical characteristics, Emoni never really developed those elite physical characteristics, or was never blessed with them, I should say. Now, he did grow to be 6'9", but when you're talking about KD being 7 foot tall and being compared to him, there's a huge difference between 6'9" and 7 foot tall. There's just a huge, that's 3 inches, that's huge. Now, 6'9" is good height for a wing player, and that's nothing to sleep on there, but he's hurt by the fact that he has a negative wingspan. He's only got a 6'7" wingspan. When you look at the elite NBA players, they normally have that huge wingspan that is way larger than their height. And Emoni, like I said, has a negative wingspan, which really hurts him at 6'9". It limits him defensively. It hurts him in terms of just being able to rise above people and extend at the rim, and just all sorts of little things like that. That wingspan becomes huge, and he just doesn't have that. Other things that really hurt him is he's not an elite level athlete. He doesn't have great explosiveness. He only clocked in, I think, at Memphis's pro day with like a 30-inch vertical, which is very, very low, something like 20-some standing vertical. Just not an elite explosive athlete. He's good. He's a fluid athlete, but he's not explosive. He's not someone who's playing well above the rim. And then you combine the fact that he really lacks strength for one thing, which can be added over time, so that's not as much of a concern. But he lacks the ability to really separate from defenses, which is why in high school you would see in highlight videos of him hitting 8 tough step backs in a game, and you're like, wow, that's crazy. But what you don't see is the other 14 misses because he was unable to create any separation just due to not having that quick twitch. And so I think Emoni was hurt, like I said, by the fact that he wasn't or isn't necessarily an elite level athlete that has some elite physical characteristics. And so those are kind of just my thoughts on Emoni Bates. I think that he can still be a good NBA player, and I've always said that I think he's closer, I said previously, to someone like Brandon Ingram than Kevin Durant. But right now I think he'd be lucky to hit that Brandon Ingram level ceiling, so we'll see. He's still got another year in college or wherever he decides to play. We'll see how it pans out for him. I'm interested to see how it goes. He's almost become someone who now I'm rooting for, so we'll see. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of Emoni. What do you think of him as a prospect? Leave those thoughts down in the comment section below. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys later.